Councillor Lister.
Diolch, prynawn da pawb. I'm going to just declare a personal interest that I didn't do at the start because I have a close friend who worked in the Gwynedd School where this report was based on, and as I studied over that way, I've also knew children who are pupils of that school. But what I wanted is a bit niche this, but under the sort of heading of thinking the unthinkable, the local authority has lots of staff that go into schools and deliver like one-to-one sessions, for example, counselling and that kind of thing. Music staff go in and teach schools. And my concern is that quite often when we go in as extra people into schools that we're shoved in like a corner somewhere to teach the people and it's quite isolating, and that there should be windows on doors or doors should be propped open. And I just wanted to kind of ask really, I know it's the school's responsibility to make sure that the space is appropriate for that sort of session to take place. But can the local authority sort of reaffirm to any visiting staff that goes out that to make sure that that is happening, and to say that if you're not teaching in a place where you feel safe or whether where anything could where you're hidden, that needs to be raised with a manager or with the school themselves. And the other thing, I probably should note this, but we're all in contact with our residents. And if anybody came to us with a safeguarding concern about something that was happening in one of our schools, who is our local authority designated officer? Who do we go to if we receive a whistleblowing complaint? Is it you, Jane? Thank you.
Thank you. If I pick that second point up and then maybe come to education colleagues again, just for the point regarding the premises and the correct environment that you made reference to. All safeguarding referrals should be made on the standard safeguarding referral form, and the details of the pathway through to services is detailed on the form. So children's first contact teams for children's services and SPOA or our social work duty teams for adult services, only because one person is a single point of failure. And so, if I was on leave or off sick or whatever it might be, then that is not an acceptable process. So if there are any safeguarding concerns, they should be raised on the safeguarding referral form because it gives a little bit more detail and a bit more information to help to expedite that referral, but also is done in the first person. So you, as the person who has the concern or a person who comes to you, if they can be encouraged to complete the referral, that makes for a swifter and more accurate process, and a more accurate response as well, so we can take action immediately. Those referrals particularly for section 5, so people in a position of trust, which this particularly relates to, they will be triaged immediately in children's services, so they take high priority within the service, and action taken depending on the severity immediately or within a very short period of time. And at that point, an investigation will be triggered if it is necessary. So it's all about what is necessary and what is known, and from that information the process will take place from there. Similarly, in adult services, should the case arise. Just picking up on your point regarding music staff and staff visiting, and I know Claire will probably come in on this as well, but for reassurance, the corporate safeguarding panel that we made reference to previously, Theatre Clwyd attend the corporate safeguarding panel, and they obviously host the Flintshire Music Service as part of their provision, and so Kath Sewell was at the last meeting, and is very aware and informed, and also we have a standing agenda item to discuss this, but also to discuss training provision, and an opportunity to raise questions and concerns. And as part of that, then the music service are also engaged in that conversation. I know visitors are wider than music, but just wanted to give you that assurance. But I might come to Claire if that's all right, regarding external visitors.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, Councillor Lister, you're absolutely right. It is for the school to manage, their visitors. They should be making their visitors aware of their safeguarding arrangements, who their designated safeguarding person is. Schools have posters up. Lots of people have it now on the back of their on their sort of staff badges as well, so that they've got that information to hand. So when visitors are signing in as well, they are often now on these electronic systems asked to read and check, the school's procedures, for safeguarding and abide by them. So yeah, I do understand your concerns. Jane, you're quite right. You've mentioned the close work we do with the Theatre Clwyd Music Trust, for example, and yes, Kath's engagement in our corporate safeguarding board. Is obviously make sure that those messages are shared,
Yeah.
within the music service. But I take your point, Councillor Lister, and I would certainly have no objection in terms of reminding our staff, because we do have a number of teams that obviously that do go in and out of schools through our own services here within the portfolio. And again, reiterating those core messages, that if there's ever any time when they feel uncomfortable about a situation that they find themselves in school, they should raise that at the school level, but then, they should also then perhaps report that to their manager as well, so that that can be escalated through the appropriate procedures. Does that give you some reassurance?
Yes, thank you. And I'm really pleased to hear what you're saying about the music service. I think you're ahead of other perhaps local authorities with that messaging going out.